everybody and welcome to a new video. Today we're going to be taking a look at a new Seamaster homage from Watchdives. Now this was released around about 2 or 3 days ago. This is a prototype version that they kindly sent me, which I did pay for by the way, but like I say, yeah, they sent it to me so that hopefully this is the first video review of this particular colourway out there on the Tinterweb. So let's have a look at it in closer detail, but before we do that, if you haven't subscribed already, please consider doing so. It would really help the channel out. With all that being said, if you do have any questions, put them in the comments section and I'll come back to you as soon as I can. But without further ado, let's turn the camera around now and take a look at this new watch from Watchdives. Okay, so let's start off with the pricing. I did check AliExpress and this watch has now gone live, so you can pick it up for $267.19. That is, of course, without any discounts. I think you'll probably be able to get it about 240 Australian, whatever that is, converted into US dollars. In terms of the specifications, you have a 42mm diameter case. You have 49 mils from the top to bottom lugs, and you're looking at around about 14 mils of thickness. Now that is 14 mils at the highest point of that domed sapphire crystal. You do have 20 mil lug width as well, and in terms of specifications, you have a grade 2 titanium case which actually has hardened coating on it as well. As a sports dive watch, it would be appropriate to have a reasonable level of water resistance, and this doesn't shy away with 200 meters of water resistance. You do also have inside the watch powering it the Seiko NH35A automatic movement. In terms of the crystal, you do have a domed sapphire crystal and you have anti-reflective coating on there as well. And to finish it off, legibility, you have the lumed indices, hands and the bezel as well, but we'll have more about that later on in this video. So here's something a little bit more exciting than just the regular on the wrist shots. It's the watch out in the wild, as I say. So my wife kindly took some video footage of us while we took the dog out this morning. I think it's just really important to understand the difference between what a watch looks like out in the wild under regular daylight conditions and what it looked like in a studio environment. So I decided that it'd be a good idea to get some footage for you here. You can see you do have a fairly shiny face, and you have that sort of dull bezel. Here's the studio footage for you, just to give you a little bit more of a, I suppose, a detailed or refined look using studio lighting conditions. So you can see you do have a dark blue dial and then that light blue bezel. The bracelet, Milanese style of course, and not a hair puller by any stretch of the imagination. In fact, actually it's a really comfortable bracelet, so yeah, no issues with that whatsoever. Next up for the review, we've got the Lume shots, and I've done 2 different Lume shots here, one a little bit closer, one a little bit longer and further away, sped up, so on and so forth. In short, the Lume on it is really good. It is a light sort of greeny blue. It's the same across both the bezel and also the dial, and in short is very long lasting. Now I've only put a couple of minutes worth of footage up here. I know some people want sort of, you know, an hour, 2 hours worth of footage, but I just don't have the capability to be able to do that, and to be honest with you, the patience, I'm going to be honest. But the Lume is fantastic. Like I say, it will glow very bright to start off with, as you can sort of see that lightsaber sort of glow, and then it settles down into something that's a little less toxic, shall we say. But certainly once your eyes have adjusted to low light situations, you can still read the time very well. Okay, so onto the case and bezel. As I mentioned, is titanium grade 2 with a hardened coating. You can see there you do have an unsigned helium escape valve. I would recommend just keeping that bugger closed the whole time. Don't let any water in, or at least fiddle around with it too much. Just leave that thing closed. You do have a signed crown on the other side, and I really do like that crown guard style. One thing to mention, the titanium is very dull. It's a very industrial looking material, but to me I find it really aesthetically pleasing. It's certainly got that industrial sort of look, and certainly helps to I suppose further accentuate the tool watch look about this particular model. You can see you do have that oval sort of scalloping on the bezel, and the material on the insert, I'm not too sure what that is. I'm guessing that it's ceramic. I can't see through the materials what it actually is, but yeah, I'm guessing that it is ceramic. So that was the bezel action, guys. I'm going to be honest with you. I've never had a titanium watch where the bezel action's been absolutely fantastic. This is probably one of the better ones, but if you're expecting it to move like a Submariner or an SD53 or something like a Submariner, you will be disappointed. So that's just one thing to bear in mind. I'm not saying it's bad, it's just a bit more gritty and a little harder to move around than one of those watches that I mentioned. One thing I do like is that the Lume pip is not particularly raised on this. Some of the watches that are homages do have a very raised Lume pip, so that's very good. Okay, so moving on to the dial and the hands. You can see there you do have a dark navy blue dial, and you have the wave etchings that are so, I suppose, iconic to this particular style of watch. They are slightly different than the original GoldenEye type watch, which was a little bit more imprinted on the dial as opposed to etched, which is what this is. But I do like the way that the light catches these etchings. It does actually look like waves on the ocean, which is obviously what it's supposed to represent. But nonetheless, adds a very nice depth and complexity to that dial. You do obviously have some raised indices there, polished steel, and you have some pretty stellar printing on that dial. Now this is obviously super macro footage, but for a watch that's retailing for about 250 Australian, about 150 US, I think it's punching far above its weight. Now this might sound silly, but one of the things that really attracts me to this particular colourway is its application of primary colours, red, white and blue. And admittedly, only red is a small component on this dial, but I think it really sets it apart and, like I say, just finishes off the watch, for me personally anyway, and makes it something that is very, very aesthetically pleasing. You can see there you do have a date window at the 6 o'clock position, which is finished really well. It's got no rough edges on the outside of the edges, and you have a clear white date window. Moving on to the bracelet, and this is typically where the watch sort of, or where a watch, I should say, typically falls down. Not in this case. The Milanese bracelet is excellent. It would have been nice to have seen a Watchdives logo on that clasp, but putting that aside, it does make up for it by the fact that it has a security part there which keeps the pin into the lug hole to stop it from adjusting or slipping off the wrist, and that is one complaint that I've got with the Heimdallr bracelet, is it doesn't have that. Overall, really well finished, very fine tolerances, and I do like the fact that you can see there on the bar it is finished to the same type of colour as the titanium case. So even though this is stainless steel, it doesn't look as though it is mismatched with the head of the watch. So well done to Watchdives for producing a solid bracelet. So my final thoughts on this new colourway from Watchdives. Well, the WD007 watch is certainly something that I have enjoyed wearing. I've got the original black version. I'm yet to get the white version, but I think I may be doing that down the track as well. But this one in particular, I think subconsciously it always reminds me of the Seamaster that I had back in the day. And whilst this is not a direct homage to any particular watch in the Omega lineup, it's like a mixed match between the No Time to Die version and the Seamaster. It still holds a lot of allure for me. Like I say, that dial is absolutely outstanding. The sword hands are iconic, and again, you know, the price point of $250, you're getting a titanium watch with a decent automatic movement that's not going to require a great deal of servicing, and if it does, you can just swap the movement out fairly cheaply, and you've got a bloody good bracelet attached to it as well. Overall, guys, I think this is a fantastic watch for the price point, and certainly something that you should consider if you like that blue Seamaster sort of look. So guys, with that being said, I hope you have a lovely weekend. Thanks for taking the time to watch the video, and if you do have any questions, pop them in the comment section. I'll see you in a new video soon. Take care, guys. Bye.